What's the first weapon you will think about when I ask you about the weapon from the Entrati families? Well, I guess you know what it is, the Trumna, am I right? It's not surprising that Trumna is the first and the best pick from the Entrati families. Consider the fact that Trumna power, both in the base shooting mode and the all-fire, are extremely powerful that it will melt everything like instantly. But I think most of us already forget about another weapon which released alongside with Trumna. Yes, it's the secondary Entrati weapon Sepulcrum. I was quite shocked that Sepulcrum never received the spotlight, despite it released at the same time as the Trumna did, but Trumna seems to be take away all the spotlight, while Sepulcrum never really able to make it through. So I was trying my best to see that can we make Sepulcrum really strong enough and try to see that can it really compete with the Trumna itself. So without further ado, let's hop right into it. Sepulcrum is a burst weapon, but I usually consider it as a single target weapon. So when I try to make a comparison, I compare it with the Tome Figure secondary kit gun as well as Spirex. But just compare it in the same category wasn't enough, as my main goal here is try to compare with the almighty Trumna. And that also means that my Trumna has to be get another competitor to compare with. And in this case, I compare it with Prime. If you're quite curious about the comparison I have made among these weapons, I have made it into a Google Sheet and I will leave the link down in the description below for all of you to check it out. Now, let me tell you my final conclusion I made from this video. I really feel a little bit disappointed about how Sepulcrum did, mainly because Sepulcrum stats really fall apart, not just from Trumna, but compare it among the secondary weapons itself, it's fall behind too much. Consider that Tome Finger kit gun actually can stand out quite a lot well, while Spirex even better. While Sepulcrum never really reached out the highlights. You might say that, but Sepulcrum got the all-fire, shouldn't it be good? Well, take a look at Trumna first. Try to compare Trumna with the Soma Prime, you will realize that Trumna as the assault rifle actually works so well by itself, even though Soma Prime never got a lot of the properties or those gimmicks like Trumna did, but both of those weapons got their own gimmicks like mods or their alt-fire to make themselves viable. Now, we know that both these weapons have the alt-fire, maybe we can try to check out the alt-fire part to see that whether both of these weapons really stand out the spotlight. And based on what we can tell, Sepulcrum never really able to compete with Trumna. It's not just the base damage itself, but also the alt-fire never really helps out Sepulcrum either. Especially, Trumna alt-fire just need to launch out the grenade easily. But for Sepulcrum, you need to aim first and fire only those target units. It's not every enemy is gonna be affected. Still, despite all those odds Sepulcrum have, we still want to make sure that Sepulcrum not too weak, especially when we really want to play Sepulcrum. That's why we still have to make a build for him. So, sorry about this, but let's bear with it. For our Sepulcrum build here, I decided to use all three galvanized mods, which include multi-shot, CO, and headshot crit chance. Mainly because I'm not using its all-fire more often, instead just use it as the single target weapon. That's why you're gonna be headshot much more. This also means that I'll be using secondary that have for the Arcanes to further improve the headshot damage. For my crit chance and crit damage here, I decided to use Creeping Bullseye because negative fire rate won't hurt too much for Sepulcrum as a single target weapon. For my elements, I go with Viral because Viral are much more general cases. And you can go with Corrosive, but consider that you may be armor stripping some of the times, this will become useless. And the last slot here, I want to go with Fire Rate, but in the end, I go with Lethal Torrent mainly because of the extra multi-shot. And I'm afraid that too much Fire Rate won't help much for Sepulcrum, so yes. Your X slots here, I decided to go with Ammo Mutation, and rank is already enough because I don't have anything to go with, but yes. Basically, if you play well enough, you don't really need anything like this. And that's how I try to build my Sepulcrum to be a not weak weapon. To be honest, Sepulcrum really hard to stood out a chance against a lot of enemies not only because its base stats are quite weak compared to the single target secondary weapon itself, but when we try to came across with Trumna, it stood no chance. So VE, can you please try to improve this weapon a bit? Especially Trumna is now dominating a lot more better compared to Sepulcrum. But thinking back again of how the other secondary weapons that are actually much weaker than Sepulcrum, so yes, just appreciate what you have. If this is your first time watching, why not leave a like and subscribe to my channel so that you won't miss out any newest content from me. Why not leave your comment down below if you got any ideas or thought you want to share with all of us. And that is from me, and as always, I will see you all next time. Bye bye!